Welcome to Blood Sugar Squad, your go-to channel for simple, actionable tips to manage diabetes and live your best life. Today we're talking about something that quietly affects millions of people with diabetes and often goes unnoticed until it's well underway: diabetic neuropathy. Diabetic neuropathy is a form of nerve damage caused by prolonged exposure to elevated or fluctuating blood sugar levels. Over time, excess glucose injures the small blood vessels that supply oxygen and nutrients to nerves, especially the longest and most vulnerable ones. As a result, those nerves begin to misfire or weaken, leading to changes in sensation, coordination, and awareness, most commonly in the feet and lower legs. Because this damage develops gradually and often without pain at first, many people don't realize what's happening until symptoms become harder to ignore. And before we go any further, I want to say this clearly. If you're newly diagnosed, the idea of diabetic neuropathy can feel overwhelming or even frightening. That reaction is completely normal. But knowledge is power, and understanding the earliest warning signs gives you more control, not less. Segment 1. The symptom almost no one connects to nerve damage. When most people hear the words diabetic neuropathy, they picture burning pain, sharp shocks, or complete numbness in the feet. But neuropathy doesn't usually begin with pain. It starts much earlier and much quieter. The first symptom many people miss is a subtle change in sensation, especially in the toes and soles of the feet. It might feel like your socks are bunched up when they aren't, or like you're walking on a thin layer of wax or cotton. Some people describe it as a faint tingling that comes and goes, especially at night. Others just notice that their feet don't feel quite the same as they used to. Because it doesn't hurt, it's easy to ignore. Life is busy. Blood sugar numbers fluctuate. And many people assume, this must just be age, or I probably slept funny. But what's actually happening is microscopic nerve stress. High blood sugar over time damages the tiny blood vessels that supply your nerves. Those nerves are incredibly sensitive to changes in glucose, oxygen, and inflammation. Before nerves start sending pain signals, they often start sending confused signals, or fewer signals at all. That's why neuropathy often begins with altered sensation, not pain. And this is important. This stage is where intervention is most effective. Segment 2. Why neuropathy often starts in the feet first. Diabetic neuropathy follows a very predictable pattern. It usually begins in the feet, then slowly moves upward. Doctors call this a stocking distribution because it's like pulling on a pair of invisible socks. The reason comes down to distance and vulnerability. The nerves that travel to your feet are some of the longest in your body. The longer the nerve, the more exposed it is to metabolic stress. Think of it like a long extension cord. More length means more chances for damage. On top of that, the feet are far from the heart, which means circulation challenges show up there first. When blood sugar runs high, even mildly high over long periods, it thickens the blood, increases inflammation, and reduces oxygen delivery. Nerves don't regenerate quickly, and they don't tolerate stress well. What makes this tricky is that neuropathy can develop even in people who think their diabetes is pretty well controlled. You don't need constant sky-high readings for damage to accumulate. Repeated spikes, nighttime highs, and long-term variability all matter. That's why awareness is so critical. If you catch neuropathy early, when symptoms are mild and intermittent, you can often slow it dramatically, stop progression, and in some cases, even see improvement. Segment 3. What you can do when you notice early signs. If you've noticed changes in how your feet feel, the goal is not panic. The goal is strategy. Neuropathy develops over time, and that same timeline gives you room to respond. Early nerve changes are often a signal to slow things down metabolically and give your nervous system a better environment to function. The most powerful tool you have is improved glucose consistency. Not perfection, consistency. Reducing big swings, especially after meals and overnight, takes stress off your nerves. This is where patterns matter more than single numbers. Even modest improvements in day-to-day stability can reduce inflammation and improve blood flow to nerve tissue over time. Foot awareness is also key. Look at your feet regularly. Pay attention to temperature, color, dryness, and sensation. Neuropathy doesn't just affect nerves. It increases injury risk because you may not feel small cuts or pressure points. Something as minor as a shoe that rubs the wrong way can become a bigger problem if sensation is dulled and healing is slowed. Movement helps too. Gentle walking improves circulation and nerve oxygenation. Even short, regular movement sessions can make a difference. You don't need intense workouts for nerve health. What matters is consistency and blood flow. Movement acts like a delivery system, helping nutrients and oxygen reach nerves that are already under stress. It's also worth understanding that nerves are especially sensitive to lifestyle factors that don't always get linked back to neuropathy. Poor sleep, chronic stress, dehydration, and even skipped meals can temporarily worsen nerve symptoms. That's why some people notice tingling is worse at night or after particularly stressful days. These fluctuations don't mean damage is accelerating, but they are clues about what your nervous system is reacting to. It's also important to bring these changes to your healthcare provider's attention, even if they seem mild. Early neuropathy doesn't always show up on routine exams, and subtle symptoms are easy to overlook unless you describe them clearly. Your doctor can evaluate whether what you're noticing fits a neuropathy pattern, rule out other causes, and help adjust your treatment plan if needed. That conversation isn't about something being wrong. It's about catching changes early when there are more options to protect nerve health. Remember that what you're doing physically should also be what you track mentally. Without tracking, those connections are easy to miss. When you can see patterns instead of guessing, you're far better equipped to make small adjustments that protect your nerves over the long term. Which brings us to something designed specifically to support that awareness. Managing diabetes isn't just about numbers, it's about patterns, habits, and mindset. That's why we created the Blood Sugar Squad Diabetes Logbook. It gives you 2 full years of daily blood sugar logs, space to track meals, mood, and medications, plus weekly affirmations to keep you motivated. Whether you're newly diagnosed or experienced, this logbook helps you stay organized and in control. Just use the QR code on screen or use the link in the description. Segment 4. Final thoughts. Diabetic neuropathy doesn't begin with pain. It begins with whispers, slight numbness, subtle tingling, a feeling that something is off, but not alarming enough to demand attention. Those whispers are your opportunity. If you're newly diagnosed, hear this clearly. Neuropathy is not inevitable. And even if early changes have started, there is so much you can do to protect your nerves moving forward. Progress, not fear, is the goal. Stay curious about your body. Track patterns, not just numbers. And remember, you're not doing this alone. That's why this channel exists. Thanks for watching. What are your thoughts about diabetic neuropathy? Comment below and please share this video. Until next time, stay strong, stay sweet, but not too sweet, and keep thriving with the Blood Sugar Squad.